hard to perform under the lights. It's hard to perform once you get hit and you get rocked for the first time. So I still think he's a natural. He's just where he's at. He's still a beginner. And if I had to sum it all up, I would say that the Jake Paul train didn't stop, but it did slow down a little bit. The momentum slowed down a little bit because he didn't fight a boxer and now he has a split decision win on his record. Every opponent he's fought, it was their pro debut. So he's not showing us that he can compete with the greats, like you're saying, in any division. Okay, let's say this. He's 190 pounds. So where is he? There's no 190-pound division at the time. It used to be cruiserweight. So you're 10 pounds from cruiserweight. You can come in at 190. Everybody else is going to be 200. And let's look at the cruiserweight division. We got we have Bradis at the top. You know, all of the champions are like Bradis, Lawrence Okoli. All of these guys are killers. And they're your height or taller. Lawrence Okoli is 6'5". You got Makabu, you know, so all of these guys are experienced guys. The guy with the least amount of experience is Okoli, and he has 4 years in, and he has incredible punching power. So let's say, all right, drop down to 175. That's where you got better beatings at number 1. And then guess who's number 10 on the Ring Magazine list? You have Joshua Buatsi. You're not getting nowhere near those guys. So if Jake Paul and the rest of the people, you know, are saying, you know what, in about 3 years, he'll be a champ. How? What do you do in those 3 years? Especially if you're saying you need to take a break now. Yeah. What do you do in those 3 years? How do you build up your record to get to those guys? Joshua Buatsi will still be there. Lawrence Okoli will still be there. How are you getting a title in those 2 killer divisions with that kind of competition in 3 years?
So in other words, Barack, Jake Paul, he wasn't on the F train when he reaches this last stop on Neptune Avenue in Coney Island, was he? I mean, it's not over for him. You do see more for Jake Paul in the boxing ring, right?
I do see more, but he's in a tough spot. Like, where do you go from here? If he wants to continue his momentum that he has with these big events, then he can't afford to start padding his record and getting experience with those 0-3 boxers. You know, real boxers, but guys who are in there to give you experience and also to give you confidence for you to beat them. They know that. Yeah. They're going to try to win, but they're going to lose. And he needs to do that. So you can't go from selling out pay-per-view, selling out an arena or selling pay-per-view and then fighting those guys, because then you got to dumb it down, maybe fight on Showtime. Does he want to do that? Is he willing to do that? Is he willing to fight fights with tune-ups just to get to that point, to get back to a pay-per-view, you know, and to be ready for these guys? Or is he still going to pick names from the non-boxing community, which eventually will get a little tired? We'll get a little upset with him doing that unless he does it Conor McGregor. You know what I mean? But still, even that is just not enough to rank you. You can't beat a Conor McGregor and get ranked and get anywhere near fighting for a title or fighting, you know, someone great. So he's in a tough spot. Like, where do you go from here?
There was a moment in that fight, I believe it was the 4th round, where Woodley had a big round, and you kind of sort of look on Jake Paul's face like, man, maybe this is not the thing for me to take seriously. You know, let's be honest, the guy's made tons of money before boxing, though he has you know, his agenda with the sport. He says he wants to uplift boxing, wants to make it bigger than the NFL, bigger than the NBA. He has a long, you know, tough task, you know, to make it to that point. But I like his agenda. I just don't see him taking the sport serious anymore like he did the way he was talking before this fight, Barack. I'm talking about to be champion, to move further in the sport and take it serious. You got to be cut from a certain cloth. I'm not saying he's not a natural, not saying he's not a tough guy, but I think it's going to end with these type of events and not him trying to be a world champion and compete with the contenders of the world. Nevertheless, wow, we were entertained.
Thanks for watching this video. Please do subscribe All Media New York.